Hello, welcome. My name is Nora, and this is a class for opening up the shoulders, and that is all we're going to do in this class. It's going to be a little bit of yin, a little bit of restorative, a little bit of slow flow. So we will be still using the breath, but we'll also have some long holds as well. For this class, we'll need some props. We definitely need two blocks, and we definitely need a strap. However, if you're practicing from home and you don't have access to typical yoga props, there are some great substitutes. So to substitute for a strap, you can always use like a kitchen hand towel. You can use a t-shirt. Yeah, you can use a belt, a scarf, anything that's kind of fabric, decently long. And for replacing the blocks, you can use some hardcover books. You can stack them up if you don't have anything really large, but something that raises the floor to you and that is sturdy. So go grab those things if you need to, and we'll start the playlist together here. So make your way to the play button, and let's start that playlist in 3, 2, and 1. And we're just going to come to a comfortable seat to start. You can sit cross-legged, you can sit on your knees, whatever works for you. Take a moment to rock from side to side, allowing both sitting bones to land heavy, feeling equal weight distribution from left to right. And roll the shoulders back and down, sitting up nice and tall. Hands can rest in the lap or on the knees. Big breath in through the nose. And then gently, slowly, steadily release the air through the nostrils, closing down the eyes as you do so. And begin to feel the texture of the stillness and the silence here. So it might be a little bit itchy or uncomfortable at first, or you might slip into this easily. But pay attention to how this transition feels in the body and the mind. I'm going to read to you a little something from Comfortable with Uncertainty by Pema Chodron. I highly recommend it. She's fantastic. She's a Buddhist nun, a contemporary Buddhist nun. And she writes this. On the subject of meditation, the point is not to try to get rid of thoughts, but rather to see their true nature. Thoughts will run around us in circles if we buy into them, but really they are like dream images. They are like an illusion, not really all that solid. They are, as we say, just thinking. So today's class is going to be a little bit slower paced. And you might find that your mind drifts away elsewhere, outside of the bodily experience, outside of the present moment. And that's okay. That's normal. But the idea is not to get too caught up in our thoughts, not to reject them, and not to cling to them, to let them flow through us like water flowing over a riverbed. Let's start to deepen the breath here. Big inhale through the nose. And let it out through the mouth. Slow, steady inhale through the nose. Big audible exhale. Let the shoulders relax. One more final breath here. Inhale. Gently release through the nose. Gently blink the eyes open. Let's start to move. Now let's take a twist to the right. Right hand comes behind you like a kickstand. Left hand to the outer edge of the right knee. Take a big breath in, sitting up nice and tall, lengthening the low back. Heart lifts up towards the sky. And exhale, twist to the left. Left hand to the kickstand position. Right hand outside the knee. Breathe in, grow tall, lift the heart. Exhale through center and over to the right. Inhale for length. Exhale to the left. Breathe in. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. And this time we hold for 3 breaths. Inhale, lift your heart. And with the exhale, stay here, but pull the navel back. And then put a little push through the right hand, your front hand. You might turn the chest to the left side a little bit more. Breathe. And squeeze the right shoulder blade in towards the spine. A little bit of retraction, and you might find that that turns the chest over to the left even more. Final breath here. And use the exhale to switch to the right side. 3 breaths here. And you might even turn the chin over the right shoulder if you want to bring the twist up into the cervical spine, the back of the neck. One more time. Breathe in. Exhale through center and back to the left, twisting. This time your front hand wraps around the left kneecap. You're going to hold on. Inhale, lift the left arm up to the sky, reaching tall through the left side body. And exhale, reach in the direction of the right knee. Big side body stretch. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, we twist to the right. Right hand props behind you. And then wrap the left hand around the front knee. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, reach in the direction of the left knee. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, we twist to the left. Same thing. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, reach in the direction of the right knee. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, reach right. Inhale, tall. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, reach up. Last time like this. Exhale to the left. Inhale, tall. Exhale, back over to the left. Same position, but we hold. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, reach in the direction of the right knee. And we're just holding here for 3 breaths. So push your left knee down towards the floor. So it's resisting this pulling up with the right hand. And then you're focusing on lengthening from the right sitting bone all the way through the left side body, out through the left fingertips. You can turn the gaze down towards the floor if that feels good, or maybe looking up underneath the left bicep. Breathing big into left lung for 1 more breath. Inhale. Exhale, let's take eagle arms from here. So the left arm comes down in front of you, right arm rises up underneath. Lift your fingertips up towards the sky and try tearing the elbows apart. It's not going to work very well, but you are going to open up a big space in the upper back. 2 options with the hands from here. You can place the hands on tops of the shoulders, or you can double wrap the forearms. And with your inhale, lift the elbows to the sky, look up. Exhale, round the spine, drop the elbows to the navel, chin drops to the chest. Inhale into the space between the shoulder blades. With the exhale, can you let your rounded shoulders and head get a little bit heavier? Bigger breath in. Full exhale. Last round here. And with the inhale, lift the elbows back up to shoulder height, look up. And exhale, hands rest on the knees, close the eyes. Pause for a moment and notice how you feel. What feels different from left to right? What feels different from when we started? And then let's take it to the other side. So we'll take the right hand behind the right hip, left hand to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Make sure you're gripping with this front hand. And exhale, reach in the direction of the left knee. 3 big breaths here, pushing the right knee down, keeping the right sitting bone heavy on the earth. Rolling the right shoulder back so the chest is trying to turn up towards the sky as much as possible. And you decide where your drishti is depending on what's comfortable for your neck. Breathe big into the right side body. If you want a little bit more here, you can also bend the left elbow and then pull back with the left hand, and you might turn the chest to the right a little bit more. Final breath here. Exhale, eagle arms. Right arm comes down in front of you, left arm rises up. Rise the fingertips towards the sky, and then try to tear the elbows apart. Either taking the hands on top of the shoulders or double wrapping the forearms for eagle bind. Inhale, lift the elbows, look up. Exhale, elbows to the navel, chin to chest, round down. 3 deep breaths, and continue to maintain the pressure between the elbows. So you're pulling those elbows in opposite directions. That'll open up the upper back even more. Last big breath in. Get fully empty. Inhale, lift the elbows back to center. And exhale, release hands to the knees. Pause, notice how you feel. From here, take the hands behind you, lean back, stretch the legs out long, and let's bounce the knees and windshield wipe the toes. From here, slide the soles of the feet to the floor, feet about mat width apart, so a little bit wider than hip width apart, maybe even a little bit wider than that. And we'll adjust as we need to. We'll come into funky chicken. So let's stretch the right arm out to the right. You'll turn the right fingertips down towards the floor. Bend the right elbow and then bring the back of the hand to the right side of your low back. From here, we'll lean the center of the chest towards the left thigh. And the idea here is to tuck the right elbow inside of the right thigh or the right knee. And if you're like, girl, there's no way that's happening right now, walk your right foot over to the right just a little bit and then peel the knee open. And that might create more space for you to find that hook, that connection. Make sure that all 4 corners of the feet are pressing down into the floor. The inner arches will want to roll up here. And then hug the inner thighs together. That'll create some pressure on the elbow. Push the elbow back into the knee and then lift the heart up to the sky. This hand behind you can stay like a kickstand, or the left hand can come to the top of the left knee if you like. Whatever feels good for you. Turn the chest to the left side of the mat. Inhale, lift your collarbones. And again, with the exhale, push the elbow into the knee and the knee back into the elbow. You'll feel the back of the right shoulder press into the back of the chest. You can look over the left shoulder if that feels good. Breathing in and out through the nose. We'll be here for a longer hold. So notice where your thoughts go when you're not matching breath to movement. You don't have to be as present to listen to direction or listen to the breath. 3 more deep breaths here. Last big breath in. As you exhale, lean in the direction of the left knee. Release the right elbow. Bring the right hand to the top of the shoulder and then circle the right elbow to the back of the mat. Just rinsing that out. And circle it towards the front of the mat. And then drop the right hand behind you. Let's take it to the left side. So stretch the left arm out to the left, thumb turns down. Bend the elbow, bring the hand to the left side of the low back. Lean towards the right knee and then tuck the elbow inside the left thigh. Again, you can walk that foot over to the left or you can open the knee to the left to hook that elbow. Inhale, lift the chest, sit up tall. Hug the inner thighs together and then push the left elbow into the inner thigh of the left leg. Looking to the right or maybe over the right shoulder. We're here for several rounds of breath. And I got this little pose, this little shoulder opener, the funky chicken, from one of my favorite yin and restorative teachers, Felicia Tamasco. She is incredible. I highly recommend you check out her classes. Remember to be gentle with yourself here. Go easy. We're still working on just opening the shoulders bit by bit, piece by piece. And remember that these cooling practices, yin and restorative, unlike other popular lineages of yoga in the West, like vinyasa or ashtanga, yin and restorative do not focus on putting your body into certain poses. These practices don't focus on imposing a certain level of intensity, a certain shape, a certain look or feel to the practice. These types of yoga, within these types, there's an emphasis on listening to what your body needs and offering yourself that in the course of the practice. So if you need to back off, back off. If you need to come out of the pose, come out of the pose. If you need to take a modification, if you need to take some of the pressure off, there's space for that here. And 3 more deep breaths on this side. Last big breath in, lift your heart. Exhale, lean towards your right knee. Unhook the left elbow. Bring that same hand on top of the shoulder. Start to circle the elbow towards the front of the mat. And then circle it towards the back of the mat. And gently release. You might want to turn sideways on your mat like I am for this next posture. We'll take a wide straddle, but I want you to keep in mind that this should not be at the end range of your straddle position. We're not focusing at all on the hips or the hamstrings today. We're really focusing on the upper back. So make sure that this is a straddle that you can sit in for several minutes. And from here, we'll reach for our blocks. Go ahead and grab those. We'll place them just underneath the shoulders So come down onto the forearms, drop the elbows down. Again, you want to make sure that the elbows can sit right underneath those shoulders. And if leaning forward like this is too much on your hips or your hamstrings, you can always shorten your straddle, shorten the distance between your heels, or you can flip the blocks up to a higher height. So find a position that's comfortable for you. Let your hands hang off the edges of the blocks. And all we're going to do from here is drop the chin to the chest. Push the elbows and the forearms down towards the floor so that the upper back stays broad. Big breath in through the nose. And with the exhale, let the back of the neck get long as the head hangs even heavier. And breathe in to expand the back of the heart, shining it towards the sky as the shoulder blades spread apart. And then how heavy can you be through your hands and your head? What we're doing in this pose is tractioning the upper back. So we're allowing the weight of the head to stretch out all of these muscles that run along the sides of the spine through the neck and the upper back. Yeah, notice where your thoughts are going right now when I'm not constantly cueing things, or you're not focusing as much on your breath or where to put your body parts. And so often when we're sitting in a pose or when we're meditating, the thoughts go somewhere else, and we think that we've done something wrong by leaving our bodies and leaving the present moment. And the truth is that this is part of the process of meditation. Being able to step outside of your thoughts and recognize that you've gone somewhere else, and then being able to take yourself by the hand and guide yourself back into the present experience. That is the sign of a strong meditation practice and a strong ability to step outside of your thoughts and see your thoughts as something distinct and something separate from the mind and the soul. So if you find yourself constantly struggling to pull yourself back into this experience, that's okay. And sometimes that's what meditation looks like. You're doing it right. You're doing it just by sitting here and breathing and being aware of what you're thinking. Let's take another 5 deep breaths. Make sure you're drawing the shoulders back towards the hips, away from the ears. Last deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, lift your head. Exhale, let's turn the chest slightly to the left, looking to the left, and then inhale, left arm reaches up towards the back, left diagonal corner of the room. Now your right elbow can stay on the block, or perhaps the right hand comes down to the floor in front of the block. Big breath in, expand your wingspan, so you're pushing down through the heel of the right palm, and you're reaching beyond the left fingertips. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hug the right shoulder blade in towards the spine just a little bit. You might find that you can turn the chest to the left a little bit more. Option to stay here, or perhaps you bend the left elbow, bring the back of the left hand to the right hip crease. and catch a half bind. Now, if a half bind is not nearly accessible to you, remember that you can always catch part of your leggings or the back of your t-shirt and hold on to that, and that is still opening up the shoulder here. Keep spinning both sides of your rib cage over to the left side of the room or the back of the mat. Maybe even turning the chin over the left shoulder blade, bringing the twist up into the cervical spine. Three more deep breaths here. Inhaling to lift the heart, noticing if you've rounded through the spine. Exhaling to turn the chest to the left. Last big breath in. Exhale, left elbow comes back down to the block, meeting its center. Inhale, reach the heart forward, look forward. Exhale, begin to look to the right. Inhale, right arm reaches up towards the back, right corner of the room. Option to stay here. You can leave the elbow on the block, or perhaps the left hand comes down to the floor in front of you. And with every inhale, can you find even more expanse from palm to palm? Option to stay here, option to bend the right elbow. Take the back of the right hand to the left hip crease or left low back. Another 3 deep breaths here. And with the exhale, right elbow comes back down to the block in front of you. Push the palms down into the blocks to come up to a seat, and we'll move those blocks off to this side. Take the hands behind you, slide the heels in towards each other, and then again, bounce the knees, windshield wipe the toes, release any tension from the backs of the legs. From here, let's come to sitting on the knees because we haven't moved there yet. So sweep the heels to one side or the other, and let's sit on the heels. You can always pop a block underneath the seat between the heels if you like. I think I'm going to do that. And pardon me, let's reach for a strap. Now, if you're using a kitchen hand towel or a t-shirt or a scarf, you'll want to take the towel or the t-shirt lengthwise and then roll it up so that it's a little bit more like a strap. When you've got that rolled up, we'll take the strap over the right shoulder. over the right shoulder. Bring your left hand to the strap that's in front of you, and then take the right arm out to the right, turn the thumb down, bend the elbow, reach back and catch the strap or towel behind you. And you want to walk that hand up the strap behind you, so you're really starting to feel some work underneath the shoulder blade. From here, peel the right elbow back in space, the right fist pushes into the back body. Notice how that feels. We've been here a couple of times today, so things should feel pretty open. But then we'll drop the left ear towards the left shoulder so that we start to open up the space between the right earlobe and the top of the right shoulder. Now, if stillness is calling to you, you're welcome to stay here. If you want to explore a little bit, keep your left ear heavy, but then turn your chin towards the floor. See how that feels? And then again, keeping the left ear heavy, try turning the chin towards the sky. And somewhere along this arc, you'll find that place that makes you kind of catch your breath and go, whew, that's a lot of sensation. I want you to pause there and breathe. Deep breaths. Keep peeling the right elbow back in space. And as we sit here, you might notice that more space opens up between the right shoulder and the right earlobe. If that's the case, peel the right elbow back, draw the right shoulder down, and then drop the left ear even heavier. And these cooling practices of meditation and yin and restorative yoga, they're really just about being open. Being open to the thoughts that come up, being open to the space that arises. And again, not clinging or rejecting, but moving with life as it moves within you. Let's take 5 more deep breaths. If you haven't found that sweet spot, explore a little bit more. You might find something that surprises you here. Last deep breath in. With the exhale, tuck the chin to the chest slowly. Release the hands from the strap. Right hand comes to the right shoulder. And then again, circle it to the back of the mat. Circle it forward. And pause at center. Notice how you feel. Right side to left side, what's going on? And then let's switch to the strap to the left shoulder. Right hand comes to the strap in front of you. Left arm reaches out to the left, turn the thumb down, bend the elbow, reach back and catch the strap behind you. And remember that you can always choke up on the strap a little bit in front and then pull down to lift the back hand up a little bit. Peel the left shoulder back and then drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Ooh. Keeping the right ear heavy, you're welcome to explore by turning the chin towards the floor. And then turning the chin up towards the sky. When you find that sweet spot where there's a lot of sensation and you take some time to breathe in it, you might start to feel that sensation melt away or lessen. So when you feel that happen, then it's time to explore again and find the next sweet spot that could use some time to work. Let's take another 3 deep breaths. One more deep breath in. Exhale, chin to chest. Release the strap from both hands. Left hand comes to the top of the shoulder. Couple of circles back. And a couple of circles forward. So we've spent a fair amount of time so far in the practice opening up the back of the shoulder, underneath the shoulder, the tops of the shoulders, but we haven't really worked the front, this connection between the pecs and the shoulders. So that's what we're going to do next. You can place your strap off to the side as well as your block. And then let's meet laying on the belly. And I'm actually going to turn towards you to start, so that way you can see what's going on. So bring your chin down to the mat, both hands underneath the shoulders to start, and then stretch your right arm out to the right. And then look towards that right hand. You want the hand to be at about eye height, so higher than shoulder height. That's important. Press the palm down into the floor. Keep the elbow down on the floor. From here, you're going to push through the left hand and roll back towards that right arm, so you're resting on your right side body. From here, there's so many options for where you can take this. You should drop the right temple down to the earth to start, so the neck and head can be relaxed. I like to lift my left leg and then kickstand the toes behind me, and I find that that helps me control the sensation here. Option to stay here. If you're feeling steady with that kickstand, you can inhale the left arm up to the sky. Exhale, turn the thumb away from you, bend the elbow, and let the hand drift to the low back. If you have a lot of range in the shoulders here, you can also try extending that left arm back. You can flip your bottom hand up, and you might even be able to interlace the fingers here. I don't have that kind of range today, but maybe you do. And then we're just holding and breathing here for a while. And if you're like, I don't feel a whole lot, that's normal. Oftentimes we feel this more when we come out of it than when we're in it. Let's take another 2 breaths. And last inhale. With the exhale, left hand comes back underneath the left shoulder. Very, very carefully roll yourself back onto your belly, coming back to the center. Notice how the front of the right shoulder feels. And then right hand slides right underneath the right shoulder, and we'll take it to the other side. So reach the left arm out to the left, palm turns down. Walk that hand a little bit higher than shoulder height. And then push through the right palm, roll back onto the left shoulder, left side body on the earth. Drop the left side of the head down. Relax the neck. If it's hard to get the head down to the floor here, you can also take a block underneath the left temple. And an option to kickstand the right toes behind you, or the whole sole of the foot might come down. If you're feeling unsteady here, like you might roll onto your belly again, keep that right hand underneath the shoulder. If you're ready for more, inhale, reach the right arm up to the sky. Exhale, turn the thumb away from you, bend the elbow, let the hand drift to the low back, or again, you can reach back and try to interlace the fingertips here in a bind. Deep breaths, opening up space in the left pectoral muscle and through the front of the left shoulder. Two more breaths here. And one more big breath in. Exhale, right hand comes back underneath the right shoulder. Very gently, slowly roll yourself onto your belly. Come to center. Chin rests on the floor. Hands can stretch back towards the toes. Notice how that feels. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Very gently press up to tabletop. Cross the ankles behind you. Sit behind the heels. And we'll come down onto the back. We'll actually set up with the blocks before we do so. And we'll come into our Shavasana. And this Shavasana, we'll do kind of our final big piece of heart opening and shoulder opening. So let's place one block at the very back of the mat on the medium height, and you want it parallel to the short end of the mat. From here, two options. First option is to place the second block about 6 inches in front of that first block on the same height and parallel to it. Now, this is going to open up the bottom of the shoulder blades a little bit more. The second option is to place this block perpendicular, and this is going to open up the space between your spine and your shoulder blades a little bit more. So you decide what feels tighter, or if you know there's a variation you prefer, move towards that. Bring the hips to the earth, hands behind you, and you'll want to bring your hands to this block, the second block that you've placed. And as you start to lay back, you can slide this block forward and back. Even if you have the block the other way, you can slide this block forward and back so that the bottom tips of your shoulder blades land on that block. Same rules apply if you've got the block perpendicular. You want the center of the spine to land, but you want the bottom of the block to land right about where a sports bra line would be. And lay the rest of the back down. Hands reach overhead for that first block. And you want to make sure that the head is well supported. Now, if you feel any tweakiness in the low back here, this block that's underneath the shoulders might be a little bit too low. So you might need to slide it up towards your head just a little bit more, or you can even scoot the hips towards the top of the mat slightly. Soles of the feet on the floor will be the easiest variation. Legs long will be a little bit more intense. Or soles of the feet together, knees wide to add some hip opening if you like. We're going to be here for about 5 minutes. So settle in. Allow the shoulders to be heavy, the eyes to close, and the breathing to grow steady and deep. If you have more time and you'd like to stay, please do so. If you're ready to come out with me, gently interlace the fingers in front of the chest, and with an inhale, push the palms away from you, reaching overhead. And exhale, slide the soles of the feet to the floor, bending the knees if you weren't there already. And with an exhale, you'll bring the hands to one side of the body or the other, and gently let the knees drop to that same side as you roll off of roll off of the blocks. Maybe that was a little bit smoother for you than it was for me. Take a moment resting on your side, noticing how that feels. You're welcome to end class here, or you can push through the palms and meet me in a comfortable seat with the hands at heart center. And we'll end class today, as we always do, with a moment of gratitude. So, in a world that seeks to constantly distract you and numb you, it is a radical practice to step outside the flow of your thoughts and notice the patterns of thinking and acting that exist inside of you. That is a radical act. And we owe a deep gratitude to all of the teachers and students that have come before us and shaped this practice. Take the thumbs up to the third eye between the brows. Big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh it out. As we bow forward in reverence to each other, together we say, Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice and your presence with me today. I hope that your shoulders are feeling a little bit different than when we started the practice today. And know that so many of these little movements that we did on our mat are things that you can do for 5 minutes after a long day of sitting staring at the computer. So I hope that this practice has given you some tools to take with you into your real life. I hope we meet on the mat again soon. Until then, namaste.